Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to explore one of the most advanced military defense networks in the world, and perhaps the most layered and complex system ever developed, Israel's air defense. But this is not just about the present. The focus is on the future, on where Israel is heading by 2030, what changes are coming, what technologies are being integrated, and how this small country is trying to remain one step ahead of threats that grow more sophisticated every single year. Air defense is no longer just about shooting down enemy planes. It is about handling everything from rockets and missiles to drones, cruise missiles, hypersonic weapons, and even cyber threats. Israel knows that the battlefield of tomorrow will look very different, and the work being done now is a glimpse of what air defense could look like for the whole world in the coming decade. Israel's air defense is already known worldwide for its effectiveness. Most people have heard about the Iron Dome, the short-range interception system that has saved countless lives by shooting down rockets and mortars. But Iron Dome is only the first layer in a much larger shield. Above it are systems like David's Sling, designed to stop media, range threats, and Arrow 2 and Arrow 3, which are tasked with intercepting long-range ballistic missiles, even those outside the atmosphere. This multi-layered approach has become the foundation of Israel's survival strategy. Yet as threats evolve, so must the defense. By 2030, Israel's vision is to take this layered system and transform it with next-generation weapons, artificial intelligence, and even directed energy. One of the biggest projects shaping Israel's defense future is the use of laser technology. For decades, lasers were talked about as the weapons of tomorrow, but they always seemed just out of reach. Recently, however, Israel has made significant breakthroughs. Systems like the Iron Beam are being developed as a complementary part of the defense network. Unlike traditional interceptors, which rely on expensive missiles to take down threats, a high-powered laser can destroy incoming rockets or drones in a fraction of a second at a much lower cost. Imagine a scenario where instead of firing a $50 0 interceptor at a $500 rocket, Israel could neutralize it with a pulse of concentrated energy that costs only a few dollars of electricity. By 2030, the integration of high-energy lasers is expected to be operational and deployed across multiple fronts. But lasers are not just about cost savings. They also bring nearly unlimited magazines, as long as power is available, and instantaneous speed of engagement. This changes the calculation of how many simultaneous threats can be handled. In recent years, adversaries have been experimenting with saturation attacks, launching large barrages of rockets or drones to overwhelm defenses. A laser weapon, when scaled up, provides the possibility to counter this tactic by engaging multiple targets one after another without worrying about running out of interceptors. That does not mean missiles will disappear, but lasers will act as a force multiplier. Another area of development is artificial intelligence and autonomous defense management. Israel's defense establishment is working on AI systems capable of tracking vast amounts of incoming threats, predicting trajectories, and assigning the most effective response in fractions of a second. Humans remain in the loop, but the complexity of modern warfare demands that machines assist in making split-second decisions. By 2030, Israel aims to have command and control systems that are more predictive, more adaptive, and able to prioritize threats more effectively than ever before. This becomes especially important when dealing with swarms of drones or mixed attacks involving rockets, cruise missiles, and aircraft simultaneously. Cruise missiles represent one of the biggest challenges for future air defense. Unlike ballistic missiles, which follow predictable arcs, cruise missiles can fly low, maneuver, and use terrain to mask their approach. Regional adversaries are investing heavily in these capabilities, which means Israel has to develop systems that can spot and neutralize them. David's Sling is being upgraded, and additional radar networks are being layered across the country to track low-altitude targets. By 2030, Israel expects to have integrated radar and sensor grids capable of covering every possible approach angle, making it much harder for enemies to sneak in advanced weapons. There is also growing attention on hypersonic missiles, which are being developed by major powers and may one day find their way into the hands of Israel's adversaries. Hypersonics travel at speeds beyond Mach 5 and are capable of maneuvering, which makes them extremely difficult to intercept. Israel is studying how to adapt its Arrow 4 project to deal with such threats. The Arrow 4 is envisioned as the next evolution in the ballistic missile defense layer, and while details are still secret, it will likely include better interception algorithms, new propulsion systems, and perhaps cooperation with allied nations. The point is that Israel knows the future battlefield will not just involve traditional ballistic missiles, and preparation for hypersonic threats is already part of the 2030 roadmap. Cybersecurity and electronic warfare also play a growing role. Modern defense networks are deeply digital, which makes them vulnerable to hacking or electronic disruption. Israel, known for its cyber capabilities, is investing heavily in protecting the digital backbone of its air defense systems. By 2030, expect to see integrated cyber defense layers that ensure the radar, command, and interception units cannot be blinded or manipulated by adversaries. In fact, Israel views cyber resilience as just as important as physical interceptors. The drone threat is another area where Israel is adapting quickly. In recent conflicts, drones have emerged as a cheap and flexible weapon, used not just for surveillance, but also as loitering munitions and explosive delivery systems. Adversaries can deploy swarms of drones to overwhelm defenses. Israel's answer is a combination of kinetic interceptors, electronic jamming, and lasers. By 2030, expect Israel to have systems that can detect, disrupt, and destroy drone swarms with a layered approach, ensuring drones cannot become the weak spot in its shield. The integration of all these systems requires advanced command and control centers. Israel is developing what might be called a defense internet, a fully connected digital environment where sensors, shooters, and decision makers are linked in real time. This network will allow for a single threat picture that updates instantly across the military. By 2030, the vision is a seamless mesh of radar stations, airborne sensors, satellite feeds, and AI-driven analysis, all working together to assign the right weapon to the right target at the right time. All of this does not come without challenges. Cost is a constant factor. While lasers promise cheaper engagements, the development, deployment, and integration of these new systems remain enormously expensive. Israel relies heavily on cooperation with the United States for both funding and technological development. By 2030, the partnership between the two countries will likely deepen further, with joint projects on advanced interceptors, radars, and possibly shared defense initiatives. This also reflects the fact that the threats Israel faces are often the same ones that other nations may confront in the future. One fascinating aspect of Israel's defense vision is mobility. Traditional air defense systems are often fixed or semi-mobile, but adversaries are adapting by targeting known sites. Israel is working on mobile laser units and truck-mounted interceptors that can be moved quickly to different regions. This increases flexibility and makes it harder for enemies to predict where defenses are strongest. By 2030, mobile defense is expected to be an essential part of the network, allowing rapid adaptation to changing battlefields. International cooperation is another dimension. Israel's air defense systems are not just for its own use, but are increasingly exported or integrated with allies. The Iron Dome has already been purchased by the United States, and other countries are interested in David's sling and arrow. By 2030, Israel may become a global hub for air defense technology, exporting its systems and also learning from operational feedback provided by partners. This exchange of knowledge strengthens the entire network of allied nations facing missile and drone threats. Beyond pure technology, Israel is also rethinking strategy. Instead of viewing air defense as a reactive tool, by 2030, it wants to integrate offensive capabilities into the defensive network. That means being able to not only intercept incoming attacks, but also neutralize launchers and operators in real time through rapid intelligence and precision strikes. In many ways, the future is about merging air defense with proactive deterrence, ensuring that enemies know that attempts to overwhelm the system will fail both defensively and offensively. Training and simulation play a crucial role as well. To prepare operators for the complexity of future attacks, Israel is building advanced simulation environments where scenarios can be practiced repeatedly. These simulations incorporate AI-driven enemy tactics, allowing crews to test responses to massive rocket barrages, coordinated drone swarms, or even hypersonic attacks. By 2030, training will rely heavily on these digital war games to ensure that human decision makers are ready for the chaos of modern battle. The societal dimension cannot be ignored. Israel is a small country with dense urban centers, and protecting civilian populations is at the heart of its defense strategy. By 2030, the goal is not just to intercept threats, but to create a shield so comprehensive that civilians can continue their lives with minimal disruption. This requires rapid detection, instant warning systems, and high interception rates. The psychological effect of knowing that defense is reliable is just as important as the physical safety it provides. Looking at the broader region, the pace of missile and drone proliferation is staggering. Non-state actors now possess capabilities that once belonged only to nation-states. Rockets are more accurate, drones are more autonomous, and cyber tools are more widespread. This is why Israel views 2030 not as a finish line, but as a milestone in a continuous race. Every year adversaries adapt, and every year the defense must adapt faster. The future is about staying ahead of the curve rather than catching up after new threats emerge. It is also worth mentioning space. By 2030, Israel expects to use satellites not just for communication, but as part of its defense detection system. Early warning satellites capable of spotting missile launches in real time will feed directly into the national defense grid. Combined with ground and airborne sensors, this creates a multi-domain detection system that covers everything from the atmosphere to outer space. Another innovation on the horizon is energy management. High-powered lasers require significant amounts of electricity, and Israel is investing in portable energy storage solutions, perhaps even advanced batteries or hybrid systems. By ensuring that laser defenses can be sustained in combat conditions, Israel is addressing one of the biggest limitations of directed energy weapons. There is also discussion of artificial intelligence not just for decision-making but for autonomous interception. Imagine drones that can automatically patrol and intercept incoming drones, or missile systems that can be launched with minimal human input after AI confirms a threat. While humans will remain the ultimate decision makers, by 2030, more autonomy will be given to machines for speed and efficiency. Of course, no system is perfect. Even the most advanced shield cannot guarantee 100% protection. But the aim by 2030 is to push interception rates as close as possible to total coverage. Israel wants to ensure that even in the face of massive attacks, the number of successful enemy strikes is reduced to near zero. This kind of dominance is both a defensive measure and a deterrent, discouraging adversaries from even trying. The development path also raises broader questions about the future of warfare. If Israel perfects a defense that can neutralize almost any attack, it changes the balance of power in the region. Enemies may seek alternative methods, such as cyber attacks, underground warfare, or unconventional strategies. This means that Israel's Air Defense 2030 project is not just about technology, but about shaping the entire character of conflict in the Middle East. By the end of this decade, we are likely to see Israel operating a defense network that blends lasers, missiles, AI, drones, satellites, and cyber capabilities into a seamless shield. It will be one of the most advanced military systems on the planet, but also one of the most necessary, given the constant pressure Israel faces. It is a vision of the future where technology is pushed to its limits to ensure survival. And so, as we look toward 2030, the story of Israel's air defense is not just about one country. It is about the future of air defense worldwide. Other nations are watching closely, learning from Israel's innovations and adapting them to their own needs. The battlefield of tomorrow will be shaped by the breakthroughs we are seeing today, and Israel's work is at the forefront of that transformation. So, when we ask what is coming next for Israel's air defense, the answer is lasers, AI, mobility, satellites, advanced interceptors, and cyber resilience. But above all, it is about integration, the ability to connect all these layers into a system that thinks, reacts, and adapts in real time. That is what 2030 is about. Not a single technology, but a unified shield that reflects the future of defense.